From the dawn of China's space program in the mid-1950s to the ability to build, launch, and operate satellites in low Earth and geosynchronous orbits from the 1980s, the People's Republic of China established a complete space power with autonomy to explore the outer world in deep space, with a long history of space exploration. You're watching your favorite YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about China's space technology will make it a superpower. Before moving forward to discuss China's space technology, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, so you won't miss any future videos we upload. The Chinese are currently building their own space lab in low Earth orbit, which could become the world's only orbital lab within a few years. In the summer of 2020, the country began an ambitious mission to Mars, which might help it catch up with other powers in the exploration of the Red Planet. It is also making great strides with its lunar explorations. In January 2019, Beijing landed a rover on the far side of the moon for its first landing on another planet. In December 2020, it recovered lunar samples and returned them to Earth on a delicate mission. By 2030, it plans to establish a lunar outpost. In low Earth orbit, several Chinese programs are developing space-based internet constellations. As a result, the People's Republic of China is no longer an outsider in space, but an actual challenger to the great powers, including us. This is because it continues to lag behind in terms of technology and means, both numerically and qualitatively, but it is growing its capabilities at an incredible rate. National development, military empowerment, and great power competition are the three pillars of China's space doctrine. China's space program has been driven by both since its inception, while the latter has gained prominence in recent decades. A major part of President Xi Jinping's China dream of the massive rejuvenation of the Chinese nation is the space industry, which aims to make China the top technology superpower by 2049. Now let's have a look at China's space ambitions. Even though China began its space program in the late 1950s, it has only recently been able to claim substantial victories. During the last few years, China has developed its own satellite navigation system known as Baidu, which competes with the Global Positioning System GPS owned by the United States government. In the event of a war, it is expected to assist China's military systems and give China competitive advantage in military tactics. Aside from that, Beijing has also set its sights on Mars. After landing a spacecraft on Mars in May, it plans to launch its first crewed mission there in 2033. Over the past few years, China has increased its filing of patents for space technologies as it prepares for some of these future trips. Between January 2000 and June 2021, Chinese companies filed 6,634 patents related to space travel, including vehicles and equipment. The top three patent requests between January 2016 and June 2021 came from Chinese businesses, followed by Boeing of the United States. This shows how quickly China wants to develop space travel technologies. Chinese top-level support underscores the scope of its ambitions. In addition to Mars, China intends to send probes to asteroids, Jupiter, and possibly Uranus. China already possesses the largest field-aperture radio telescope in the world. Within the next 10 years, it plans to construct a scientific research station at the southern pole of the moon, along with its own advanced large-scale space station. To achieve their goals, they work methodically and systematically and have a long-term vision. Among many other technological aspects, one might ponder why space. China, on the other hand, emphasized space as a frontier technology on which it will focus and conduct studies into the origin and evolution of the universe. In the opinion of Said Mostashar, head of the London Institute of Space Policy and Law, and Christoph Beischel, it may advance technological development in areas such as national security and economic development. However, extraterrestrial activity can also benefit military operations on Earth, even though analysts doubt that it would lead to space conflict. By exploring the Moon and Mars, China and the United States enhance their national and international prestige, legitimacy, and international influence by demonstrating their technological expertise to domestic and international audiences. Thus, both countries are now in a race to leave the other far behind. Next, how is China's technology transforming it into a superpower? The rate at which China is breaking through each technological barrier demonstrates how the Beijing administration views space as crucial to strengthening the economy and encouraging high-end manufacturing and spillover technologies. Their vision of space is crucial to their future growth and competition. Private companies are launching satellites in China and exploring new revenue-generating applications for space travel, making it less challenging but potentially more rewarding. Commercial firms must cooperate and be approved by the Chinese government, since launches are only permitted at military facilities. Now, like the United States and Russia, China has a private corporation capable of creating liquid fuel engines that are reusable and less expensive than simpler solid fuel engines. A surge of firms backed by celebrity entrepreneurs has transformed the commercial space industry in recent years. These include Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin, Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic, and Elon Musk's SpaceX. These firms accounted for roughly 65% of the $3 billion satellite launch market in 2018. Satellites in orbit increased by 50% between 2013 and 2017, reaching 1,738, with Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic preparing to enter the space tourism market. The State Council of China first suggested the establishment of a commercial space industry in 2014, promising to promote private capital's participation in the construction of China's civilian space infrastructure. As a result of increased military-civilian collaboration, commercial companies have been permitted to operate from military bases. In the same way that China has already revolutionized manufacturing, so can the commercial space industry. It can lower costs, enhance efficiency, and take the lead. The launch of small satellites weighing less than 220 pounds will be worth $15 billion by 2027, according to Euroconsult, a space industry consulting firm. Jing Kekai came from China's state space industry, as did the majority of her firm's $500 million employees. I don't think there is any country in the world that can do things as quickly as China, Kai says. Even so, China's commercial space firms are limited in their ability to compete by tough international traffic and arms regulations (ITAR), which prohibit Chinese satellites from being launched containing American components. In response, China is offering clients comprehensive turnkey solutions that include constructing component-free satellites in the United States, handling launch operations, and providing ground station assistance. Although China's commercial market share remains tiny, at around 5 to 10, analysts say it is expanding with the launch of communications and surveillance satellites for countries like Brazil, Venezuela, Laos, Nigeria, and Algeria. The European satellite industry is also developing systems designed to avoid ITAR requirements. As China's space exploration and commercial initiatives develop simultaneously, head engineer Yi Wei compares satellite launch to his previous job developing escape pods for the country's human space program. Jing Kekai claims that her company plans to launch manned space flights within 5 years, although it is far behind U.S. competitors such as SpaceX. As soon as they have done that, Jing Kekai intends to take her daughter on the company's inaugural flight, at a price that is undoubtedly cheaper than those of their American and European counterparts. Soon, China recognized the many benefits of space technology. It is now a relatively wealthy and technologically advanced nation. As a result of the end of the Cold War, it is the only country capable of disrupting the global power balance. As a result of using technology and capabilities that its adversaries do not possess, it recognizes that the U.S. intends to conduct asymmetric warfare against them. So, it makes sense to think that, if necessary, China will do everything it can to make itself less vulnerable to asymmetric operations. That was all for today's video. You can share with us your views in the comment section. And if you are new to the channel, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos we upload. Thank you for watching the video. Best of luck and goodbye.